talking about the lupus condition. It's a condition that I just learned of recently, and I know there are many people who don't know about this particular condition. And with me on set, joining me on Zoom platform are three guests. We have Mercy Nasieku. Mercy, welcome to this discussion.
Thank you, Ratemo.
Yes, and we also have Grace Gadhoni. Grace, karibu sana. Welcome to this show.
Asante.
Yes, and we also have Caroline Nice. Caroline, welcome to the discussion today. Caroline, I can't get your audio. You are not audible. Can you?
Thank you.
Yes, great. You're welcome. Now, I just want the viewer to understand what is lupus condition. If I may start with Mercy Nasieku. What is the lupus condition?
Okay, lupus condition. It's an autoimmune condition. The white and red blood cells fight each other, of which for any normal person, the white and red blood cells fights like diseases. But with us patients who have lupus, these two blood and red, white and red blood cells fight each other. So
they kind of attack each other, and therefore okay. That's it. And maybe Grace Gadhoni, I'm just wondering, when did you discover that you have lupus condition?
I discovered it on 2006. That's when I started getting ill. But it was discovered 2010. That's when I was diagnosed. So between
but how many years were you by then?
It took me 4 years to discover it, that I'm having lupus.
How old were you?
And I think I was around 25.
25 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And what did you feel, or what led you to go for diagnosis to discover what the problem was? How were you feeling like?
First of all, I was feeling tired, fatigued. My joints were aching, and I couldn't. When I walk, I could get tired, and my muscles were paining, like I'm beaten all over the body. Even waking up in the morning was a problem. And then I had anemia. So I thought I had a problem of anemia itself, but it was something else. And my joints were paining too. So, and that's when I was tested. First, I was admitted in hospital in 2007. And I was It was a misdiagnosed. I was misdiagnosed for vitamin B12 deficiency, but it was not deficiency, it was lupus. So it took me like 4 years to be diagnosed.
4 years? All that while you're suffering from a condition that you don't know what's the problem?
But I don't know what's the problem, what it was, and at that period you're trying to take medications, wrong medications, and still you're struggling to get well. Yes.
Let me come to Nasieku. For you, how was it, and how old were you when you discovered that you have this condition?
Okay. I was 17 years old because it was 2017 when I finished my Form 4. And I remember when I was in Form 3 in the year 2016, I became sick. Okay, I started having some nerve issues. I could not breathe. I could not breathe properly. At times, I'm rushed in the hospital. I use oxygen machine because I could not breathe by myself. Loss of hair. So, 2017, I went to the hospital, and then I found a new doctor. And the doctor, I explained the whole scenario about the lack of breathing, joint pains, loss of hair, and then he told me to do a certain test, and the test is antibodies antigen. And I did the test, of which it took 4 days, and it came back positive. So I knew that I had lupus in the year 2017, and for me it was a shock because I never knew anything about lupus. And yeah, it was the first time I heard about lupus, and since then I've been just fighting, and yeah, that's my story.
Okay, now I can see we had lost Caroline Nice, but she's trying to reconnect. But then I've been told, I've been made to understand that with this condition of, especially when you talk about the virus pandemic, like coronavirus pandemic, that you people are easily affected. Is it true?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Grace, can you tell us more about that?
It is more risky to those to us lupus because when you have an underlying condition, it's very risky for us to get to be infected with COVID-19. Our condition and the symptoms are just similar with they're just similar with the COVID-19. So you stay scared, and most of the things that you are doing normally, you are not capable of doing them normally because you have that fear, and then still you want to protect your life. So it is very hard and difficult for lupus or for lupus patients to be normal at this moment. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now let me go to Caroline. Caroline Nice. Thank you very much for rejoining the meeting. And we were just trying to identify, when did you discover that you have the lupus condition, and how was it like? How are you health-wise?
An active child, a very normal child. But in I used to be very playful, but in 2013, that's when I started experiencing joint pains. Then I stopped being active. I was a hyper child, but then at some point I got a different job and I had to sit a lot, and I just stopped being active like I used to be active. And then I think that's when I got hit. That's eight years ago from 2013. But then I used to be told that I have malaria. Every time I'll go to hospital, I'll have issues with malaria. I'll be tested and they will not get to know what the disease was. But when I developed a butterfly rash, and then the doctor in Kenyatta was able to know that was lupus.
But you are talking about a butterfly rash. Where was it specifically?
On the face. It comes from this side all the way. Then you could tell something that looks like a butterfly. That's when they're really able to rule out that was lupus. Before then, I used to be treated of rheumatoid arthritis because they almost have the same symptom.
Okay. Was it similar to each one of us on the interview today that you developed a butterfly rash?
Okay, for me, I was so lucky because I never had those rashes on my face.
Okay. What about Grace?
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I normally have those rashes on my face, and sometimes they appear like they are bruised. I get them on this side, on the other side, and when I have them in some pimples, when I have them, I apply some lotions on it, like sunscreen to protect my skin because. Our skins are it's very photosensitivity, so we
Sensitive to
apply
light.
lotions kind of um,
Okay.
like screen like solar care
Okay. Okay.
to
Now,
protect our face. Yeah.
all of you discovered that you have the lupus condition at the past teenage years, and I'm wondering, somebody may be wondering, is it a disease for the grown-ups, or do children
No,
also contract the same?
So
it is start around 15 to 45 years old. That's when I understand the lupus. You can get lupus from 15 years to 45 years. So it's kind of a hormonal thing. It's also kind of a hormonal thing.
And
Yeah, in most cases.
Mercy, let me come to you on this. Is it kind of, can we say it's contributed to by lifestyle? Is there some translation with the same?
it's different because most of the patients that I'm aware of, others started developing the symptoms after they gave birth, when somebody had a baby, and then they started having the complications. We also have a girl called Michelle who has lupus, and Michelle, I think she's 10 years old. So sometimes it begins the onset of it. Someone maybe got some wrong medication, and then they just started getting sick. Sometimes we say the weather can be a major cause. We can't really attribute it. Others, it's some food. Maybe somebody ate some food. Like I remember there's a time I wasn't eating enough, and it kind of contributed to the onset of everything. We can actually say we can't really attribute to maybe the lifestyle. And sometimes if your family has got a history of arthritis, there is a very high probability of someone at teenagerhood developing lupus conditions.
Okay. Okay, so is this, in terms of trying to understand the condition, could we say it's a kind of cancer? Does it have any relation with the same?
Not really.
Okay.
Uh, because we like become our immunity fights itself. So our white blood cells are not able to protect our bodies. So like if both me and you we like get a cold, I'm going to be able to be more affected than you could be. If maybe we got symptom of a disease like typhoid or amoeba, I'm going to be at a high affinity of getting sick than you.
Okay, so basically your immune system is low.
Is
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the issue, because the other issue was about childbearing, issues related to pregnancy and such. And somebody may be asking, can a person who has lupus get children?
Yes, we have patients who have got babies. Then you need to have a very good follow-up between your gynecologist and the rheumatologist. They have to work together. And the rheumatologist times when you don't have a flare and when your lupus is down, because there are times the lupus goes down and you can be able to be on very few medications, because there are medications that can affect the pregnancy and medications that are are safe for the pregnancy. So you really need to work out with your gynecologist, and also the rheumatologist have to work hand in hand. And that is when the flare is down.
Now,
Yeah.
Mercy, do you, for example, do you have children?
No, I don't have any children.
You don't have. What about Grace?
So I don't have any child, any children.
Yes.
The reason because lupus itself, it acts in us, it fights us in different ways, and sometimes back giving birth, it was so difficult for
Lupus
patients with
patients.
lupus because of the medication and the medication, and maybe how your body takes, I mean, how you carry yourself with your body through this condition. So it have been so difficult to some of us. Like you try, sometimes your immune is low, so when you try to get pregnant, it's like you're trying to get pregnant and then you can't even conceive. But now we've come up in being checked by the doctors, what my colleague have just said, being checked whether you're capable, and being under under medication which can make you to get miscarriage, and still which can be neutral even in your body, that you can't even get more flares, or you can't even get sick. But then if you are in remission, you can also get pregnant. You can also get pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mercy, you said
Yeah.
some discover that they have the condition after they give birth. So it's possible to get pregnant and actually to deliver safely. And then,
Yes.
but what happens after that? Are you able to get another one according to what you've discovered?
That point came from NICE.
All
Yes.
right. Yes, nice. Okay.
It is very possible. We have got patients who have gotten children. They had one and then they still had another one. It is very possible. I have friends. I know of like four currently who are breastfeeding, and one who is pregnant.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Yes.
that's great. So let's talk about the ladies and in terms of gender, because I see like in this meeting we have all of you being ladies, and I'm asking myself, do men also contract the same condition?
Yes, they do.
They do.
They do.
And how is
Yes,
the
but
comparison?
the comparison is we got many women having this disease than men. So, but also men are in this group. They do get like where we form some groups. Like, for example, me, I'm a member of Lupus Foundation of Africa, and we have men who have lupus. And we also meet some other people like in Facebook, and they are men and they have lupus. So this disease does not choose it. That does not say that it's for
Female
men
or
or
male?
it's for women. It's for everyone, even the babies. You can there is even those babies who are born with lupus.
Okay, so it can be inherited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
because it's an autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
It's an autoimmune disease, so everyone can get it. If you can get arthritis, if someone can get arthritis or diabetes, if you have that thing in your family, it's most likely you'll have to get someone with lupus too.
And
Yeah. Yes.
thank you, Mercy. Mercy, are there foods in terms of nutrition? Are there foods that you are supposed to eat that you are not supposed to eat? Certain maybe things like even salt, sugar. Yeah, could you shed light on that?
Okay, in my condition,
Yes.
in my case, anything which has wheat, it affects me.
So gluten is a no
So
for you.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I avoid them, and also nowadays I'm trying to avoid red meat, but because I'm a Maasai, it's so hard to leave some things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I avoid anything with wheat and also red meat, because when I knew that whenever I eat like bread, it it affects me. So I decided, just I was told by my doctor, the best thing is just to avoid them. So I avoid them. Yeah,
Okay.
and I do eat a lot of vegetables.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So you need a lot of vitamins, eh? And
yeah.
Caroline, what is it for you? How is it for you?
Um, I can say I eat everything, but in moderation. I discovered if I eat red meat, I get affected. Especially if I eat meat today and tomorrow, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to bloat. Like I'll also, my hands are going to get swollen, and I'll have some problems. Maybe I'll start developing some rashes when I do a lot of red meat. And I also have a problem with nightshade plants. If I eat things like managu, I'm going to have a sleepless night. My nerves are just going to get affected. So everything I eat in moderation. Like I can't eat acidic foods because I still have issues with gastritis. So it depends. If I eat a lot of acidic things, I get a problem with the stomach. So everything I do it in moderation.
What about Grace? Because I'm discovering like it's just different. You can't really point to a certain food and say this is wrong or this is right. What about you, Grace? Is it the same?
For me, I don't. For me, I don't take chapati or mandazi because if I take something with gelatin like chapati or mandazi or a bread, that's when I get some constipation, and because always my acidity it's always high, so I really try to avoid the things that can make my acidity to rise up, because acidity also affects your throat, can give you some sore throat. And when I have some sore throat, my voice it's hoarse always. So I try to avoid gelatin, and I don't take red meat, and not even red meat. Nowadays, I'm not capable of taking even the white meat. If I take only one piece and I'm done. So it's kind of we have those foods that we need to take, but sometimes it's very hard for us because and even taking a lot of proteins in meat, it's not advisable, but it's a problem because so some of the nutrients you need to have them in your body. So living with lupus, it's something that's so complicated because you want to take these nutrients to make your body to fight the other thing, but now you see you got yourself in a situation that it's like you're not taking everything. It's like not you're taking everything, but sometimes you're forced to take for your body to have those nutrients to make your body fight for the other diseases.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Now let's talk about these pains. How is the pain like? Can you try and describe, Mercy, how the pains associated with lupus are?
Okay, in my case, I have the worst pain because when, okay, first, mine it's like a unique one, because maybe I can get an attack, and then I can't breathe by my own, and then also I become numb, like my hands become stiff, and also my legs become stiff. So whenever I have this pain, everybody in the house, the entire house, they just know, okay, this is a case which I must be rushed to the hospital and use an oxygen machine.
So
Yeah.
it's also quite expensive, eh?
Yeah, it's okay. Dealing with lupus is expensive, so much expensive, because for me, in my case, like every time I have an appointment with my doctor, I have to pay a fee of 4,000 just to see him, and then in the same case I have to do some tests, and also you can do a test which maybe cost 20,000. That is one test, and also there's drugs. You must buy medication, and these drugs are expensive. So dealing with lupus, to be honest, it's an expensive thing, very expensive.
And do you get support? Do patients with the lupus get some kind of support from governments and other non-governmental institutions?
Okay, what I know, okay, from the government, not really, but in our, there's this group called Lupus Foundation of Africa.
Yes.
And in this group, we always come together, and if one of us has an issue, us like the members, we like share whatever we have, like we can contribute money or some drugs and help each other.
So it's all
That's
upon you. It's upon you to assist each other, and nobody comes in.
Right. Yes.
We have, yeah.
Does it contribute to a person adding some weight?
Yeah, like for me, okay, in my case, you see that my face is like, it's like swollen. Okay, we have some drugs which we use, and some drugs have effects, and because of these drugs, maybe you can increase weight.
Okay.
Because of the drugs.
So it's as a result of drugs, Caroline?
Yes, the steroids, because we have to be on steroids that, yes, potent prednisone, and they really contribute to addition of weight. And also we have those who lose weight. Like myself, sometimes I get so slim. You meet me today and you're wondering whether I'm the same. Tomorrow you see me, I don't have hair. Today my skin color is light, tomorrow my skin color is dark. So it happens once in a while, depending on the drugs.
Okay.
So sometimes affected by the drugs that you're taking.
Okay, thank you. Now, as we come to the conclusion, my last question goes to Grace. I was made to understand that there are some statements that you should not make to people with the lupus condition, and most of us as viewers, we don't understand this. Are there things that you should not speak to a patient with the lupus condition?
Oh, okay. Like now, our condition is very, it's invisible, and sometimes you just look at me and you think I'm just okay. But inside, maybe I'm really dying. Yeah, you see, like maybe I have a kidney condition, and maybe my body is changing according to the drugs that I'm taking, maybe having the face moon, or maybe adding weight, or maybe sometimes losing weight, as the way Caroline is saying, you lose a lot of weight, like you get very thin in a week. You've been having like 70 kgs, and then you get yourself with 50 kgs, you see? So that's a very bad loss weight. So there are those things that you're not supposed to mention to a lupus patient. Maybe like you're getting fat every day, and maybe the drugs that you're taking, they're making you to get fat. Or
It's not your
maybe
choosing.
you look so strong. You look so strong. Well, you can do nothing. You can do nothing. You can't maybe even lift even a bucket of water to put it outside. You can't even stand for 5 minutes. And there you look very healthy. So like you can get someone telling you, oh, your face is glowing, but yourself, you know, you're taking a lot of steroids to make to look perfect. Or maybe your hair is falling. There comes a time in your hair is falling, all of it, and your head is bald. And then you'll get someone maybe saying, oh, maybe you're HIV positive, or some kind of the things that you wouldn't like to hear with your ears.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very frustrating.
Oh, sorry.
Very frustrating.
Now, Mercy, would you just make a statement as we close the meeting?
Okay. I would like to say to anybody who has lupus, to all lupus patients, I know it's not easy to deal with lupus, because maybe your family doesn't support you, but whatever you're facing, just remember that God is watching over you, and always be strong, and always put a smile on your face despite the challenge.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much. And of course, with that, thank you very much for joining us. That was Grace Gadoni. We had Mercy, and we have Caroline Nice speaking to us on Zoom, via Zoom, about the lupus condition. Therefore, we come to the end of that discussion. And of course, there are many issues that we needed to talk about, but time could not allow us. But then, of course, we continue explaining to you and giving you more information about the lupus condition. And until next time, see you then.